Cardfight Club. The first rule of Cardfight Club, you don't talk about Cardfight Club. What's going on, Cardfight community? OMG Josh here, and today we're with...
Hello, my name's Daniel, everyone. Today we'll be discussing the Freezray Messiah build.
Alright, take it away.
Starting off, we have our must-have starter for any Messiah build, Neon Messiah. The reason it's so good is because any rearguard that you could lock and have an auto-unlock skill is always good with our Link Joker deck. The fact that it will search you another grade 3 makes it amazing if you're stuck on Freezray or just another stride. Starting off with our grade 3 lineup, you're going to have 4 of your main card. This is going to be your Alter Ego Messiah. We're going to be running a total of 4 grade 3s. This is going to be your later game. You're going to want to start with the secondary one. I'll show you in a second. This card is both a good draw engine and a good control mechanism. On ride, you lock one of your own, very good for your grade 4s, and knock one of your opponent's cards. When a card's unlocked, Soul Blast, draw 1 card. If you're going first, you're going to want to start with this baby, Freezray Dragon. Amazing defensive card for Limit Break. It may be only a 10k and it may seem a little bit discouraging, but every time you take a damage, you lock one of your opponent's cards. This cuts through rush decks if you're able to get it off soon enough. Royal Paladin, Grand Blue. If you want to prevent Hollow or Magi from taking effect and keep their cards on the field for later, this card could shut down an opponent's formula. The grade 2 lineup for this is going to be somewhat standard. You're going to start off with your grade 2 Messiah, Arrestor. Now this card's lowering in price a little bit, used to be a little bit of a heavy hitter. Basic 9k body, solid, sturdy. On attack, unfortunately this is only on call, but it'll lock itself, providing another target for your grade 4s, and locks another card in your opponent's back row. Always good for control to have a grade 2 with a free lock. Your main drive conductor here is going to be Lady Battler of the Black Wharf. Common, basic, easy to find. After this unit attacks a Vanguard, counterblast 1, lock it, providing more targets for your grade 4s, and adding 5k to a unit of your choice. Combined with Arrestor Messiah, this becomes a free plus 8k and restanding column. Tech bit for this? You're going to go with 3 Lady Battler of the Gravity Wells. Now I have tried out the Mobius Dragon tech, but that does provide you with an early game block to rush, but it costs you a great deal of consistency. This card will lock one of your own units in exchange for power. Now this comes in handy with providing you more units to boost your columns with your grade 4s, but also if you're stuck on Freezray late game and your damage is starting to stack up, you can proc Neon Messiah and get yourself an Alter Ego earlier. Starting with the grade 1s. Now keep in mind, this deck's one major drawback, it is completely generation locked. That's why not only are we running 8 grade 3s, we're going to run a full set of our Stride Fog. Basic, 7k, Tutors for Altar. This is going to help you with your columns a lot. Arrestor Messiah, run it at 4 copies. When one of your units or your opponent's units gets locked, lock this unit, countercharge, and add 3k to another unit of your choice. Use it with Lady Battler for a free column and 8k. Use it with Arrestor Messiah for a countercharge and another 3k. This will keep your resources good and it'll keep your columns full. Again, with the resource conservation, we're using the PGG's Cosmo Wreath. Basic PGG, if you have another copy in your graveyard, negate the attack and get yourself a countercharge. Keep the resources flowing and your options open. Our 2 tech, you're going to be running 2 copies of Dark Metal Chameleon. I'm going to give the same reason for this that I gave for Neon Messiah in the beginning. Any rearguard that has a skill upon unlock is amazing. This one's the best of all. Not only does it have resist, so it can stick around, but it gives you another countercharge. Again, Link Joker can burn through your resources. Keep that flowing. And this makes sure you'll always have an ample supply. As with all decks that I like to call avatar decks, you're going to have 4 of their classical crit triggers. Move to soul, draw a card, add power. Now this also has double effect, as when a card unlocks, your Alter Ego Messiah will let you draw another card for a Soul Blast. So this can end up giving you 2 cards for the price of 1. You're going to be running 8 crits total. Now you can go for a vanilla crit if you choose. I go for Paradigm. The reason you say Paradigm, the reason everyone's going to say Paradigm, is let's just say you're stuck on your Freezray. Let's say that Big Crush Dragon is a thing that exists for some reason. Free lock, free critical back into the deck. If you're running Link Joker, please run Paradigm. As we have discussed, there is a little bit of a soul engine with your draws. You're going to want to get draw. Again, this deck is susceptible to early game rush, so the more cards you could have in your hand, the better. Late game, the more cards you could have in your soul, the more cards you could have in your hand. So overall, maxing out your Super String Theory is a win-win. Last but not least for triggers, every deck needs 4 heals. People have tried to not run heals. These people do not know how to play Cardfight Vanguard. You don't need to use the new one. You can use a vanilla. I just think it looks pretty. That's the only reason this is the one I use. After you have the core of your deck, you're going to head into the meat, and I'm going to start off with your defensive lineup. You're going to start off with 2 Maxwells. This is going to be your basic bread and butter as far as your G-Guards go. By locking 1 card in your back row, you add 5k to the shield. You can use this combined with your Arrestor Messiah. Since you are technically locking a card, lock Arrestor and add another 3k to your Vanguard permanently for the rest of the turn. You can build up your locks. It'll cause your first round of attacks to be somewhat lacking, but the second round will be all the stronger for it the following turn. If you can double G-Guard by locking 2 of yours using Sacrifice Messiah, this will give you another 25k shield. Really, I only use this one if I have no other choice, or if I can do a double, or at least 2 in 1 turn. It's either basic, or it can provide you some decent shield. Dismo, staple in any deck. One of the problems with Link Joker is that it's very, very essential that you have the good setup on your field. It all comes down to if you're not good on grade 2s and you only have that 1 Lady Battler on your rear guard, you need to keep that Lady Battler on your rear guard at all costs. Dismo will keep it there for you. My personal starter is Flageolet Messiah. Flageolet Messiah is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful Messiahs in the game at the moment. It starts off slow if you choose to use it first, but it does give you a very good, almost infection-like effect. By counterblasting 1 and flipping any card, you could unlock up to 2 cards for every copy face-up in your G-Zone. If 1 or more were unlocked, Omega lock any number of locked cards your opponent controls. If 3 or more, you get a critical. Now if you go first, you may be forfeiting that critical, but if you do it again, now you have 2 face-up. You could flip another card and go into it a total of 3 times. You could keep 1 card Omega locked for as many as 4 to 5 turns at a time. Very useful depending on what deck you're facing. Of course, we're going to see our Amnesty and Esselix. Amnesty, unlock any number of cards, plus 3k for each, and critical if 3 or more are unlocked. It is also the cost for Esselix. Now, Esselix also shares the unlock any number of cards trait, but instead of gaining 3k for each one, every card unlocked by its effect gains 3k. On your side, that is. Think Link Joker doesn't have a field wipe? Gloria and Deus. All cards unlocked on your opponent's field will retire instead of getting to go free. Very good for a board wipe if you've managed to attrition their hand down to a small size, and if not, very good for refreshing your attacks. The following is a card that must be run in every Link Joker deck. Big Crush. Counterblast, flip, Omega Lock, 1 column. Not much needs to be said to justify this card. However, with a Messiah deck, considering all the free crits you get with your restanding columns, I would advise only running it at 2 copies, not only because they are still very expensive, but because you really need the other crits and restanders more than this. However, do keep it at 2 because it is still an invaluable card. The Flying Spaghetti Monster. This has been a long-time favorite of mine just because it generally looks amazing. If you are to play this in an average turn, it requires a very specific situation. However, it also doubles as a last resort. Say, you got your own board wiped via Kagero, via Shadow Paladin, and they've got a Grand Formation coming at you. Well, your field's empty and their field is locked. Congratulations. The last card is our good friend Fluffy Breeze. The reason Fluffy Breeze is so important is because, as I said earlier, this deck is completely generation locked. It's the reason we run our maxed out grade 3s to the reasonable extent, maxed out of our stride fodders, is because if you can't get to grade 4, you cannot play Messiah. Seabreeze is a gimme. It's something you have to have. Some people may want to use Alt Wilder, and I have debated siding it into the deck, but in my opinion, it is much more important to make sure the deck can run, and run reliably. Well, this is my Link Joker build. I think I'll throw it back to the Cardfight Club.
All right. Well, thank you so much. If you like this, please comment and subscribe, and we'll get back to you in the next one.